Welcome back to Colorado. I'm Ana Cabrera, again in Centennial, Colorado, where a student walked into this high school behind me, Arapaho High School, and started shooting and then killed himself. That shooting just a day before the one-year anniversary of the Sandy Hook killings, bringing back many horrifying memories and feelings for so many people. And in the past few years, unfortunately, there have been several other tragedies, similar tragedies. We just mentioned Newtown, Connecticut. Of course, there was also the Aurora Theater shooting here in Colorado just a little over a year ago. Virginia Tech was the worst school shooting in U.S. history about 5 years ago. And the 1999 Columbine High School massacre, which really triggered all the conversations about this kind of an issue that happened not far from Arapaho High School, also here in Colorado. So the big question today is why, and perhaps just as important, is what kind of lessons can we take away from these situations and apply moving forward? And we have a special guest with us, the author of Mass Shootings, 6 Steps to Survival, John Matthews, joining us now from Dallas. And John, we really appreciate your time with us this morning.
Well, thank you, Anna.
John, I know you're also the executive director of the Community Safety Institute, so lots to talk about. But first, let's start about your reaction when you heard about yesterday's shooting.
Well, honestly, I wasn't surprised with the number of shootings that we've had, active shooter incidents, school shootings, and mass shootings in the U.S. over the last 5 to 7 to 10 years. I really wasn't surprised, and with the anniversary of Sandy Hook being today, I almost expected that someone would commit one of these horrific acts in a school. These offenders follow the patterns and trends, and they look at these kind of seminal events like Virginia Tech, Columbine, and with the anniversary being today, honestly, I wasn't surprised.
But yet there's been so much that's been done in schools and law enforcement training to try to prevent these situations, to try to be in a better position to address situations as they come up. Why are we seeing this trend, do you think?
Well, we've done a great job. Yes, law enforcement, their active shooter training, we saw that yesterday. Entering the school, being there within 5 minutes of the initial call. We've done a great job in law enforcement in rehearsing and practicing, in training in schools. We've got our lockdown procedures in place. We saw that yesterday. And Anna, the positive thing is, today we're not talking about body counts. We're talking about lives saved. It's unfortunate that we had an injury yesterday, but look at all the lives that were saved because of our school plans, our lockdown procedures, and our active shooter response by law enforcement. So we've made tremendous progress over the last several years.
Let's talk a little bit about what we know of the crime itself here that happened just yesterday. We know the gunman walked in. He didn't try to conceal his shotgun that he brought into the school. We know there were Molotov cocktails also found. What do some of those details tell us about the situation that happened here?
Well, see, it's very fascinating to me. First, that he wore what's described as tactical gear or attire. That shows me that the offender was what we call in law enforcement costuming. He was putting on his costume or his uniform to go commit the act. That shows intent, that shows planning, that shows preparation. Even more disturbing is the Molotov cocktails, because again, that's another indicator that this was not an individual who woke up yesterday morning, was angry at a teacher, and went to school to confront them. This is somebody that planned, that prepared, that thought about this, that assembled the Molotov cocktails. So this is someone that was not just going to hurt one teacher, but a lot of people, because he had multiple weapons.
Well, John Matthews, I wish we had more time to talk. We really appreciate your insight into what happened here and the many tragedies, unfortunately, that we've covered over the years. Again, John Matthews, the author of the book Mass Shootings, 6 Steps to Survival. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Another thing I want to mention, Martin, before